Do 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 to see or not to see. Do 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 to see or not to see. Join the rush line, play the lottery,
or pay full price.
This is the best you'll see. Do 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 to see or not to see.
Hey, how y'all doing today?
Talking about Eclipsed, which I have been raving about for so long. Just couldn't wait to get my butt in the seat. It is playing at the Golden Theater. Strictly limited engagement though, so you have to get there before June 19th if you want to see the show. Tickets start at $45, but there's a student rush at the box office when it opens in the morning, 10 o'clock. There's usually a little line, so get there early and have a valid ID. Eclipsed tells the story of 5 extraordinary women brought together by upheaval in their homeland of Liberia. It's a stirring tale of hope, humor, and resilience, and the only play by a woman on Broadway this season. And you know who that woman is. We've been talking about her over and over and over in every single episode. We big her up, and that is Denai Guerra.
And not only a woman, but a woman of color. Educated woman of color.
Absolutely.
Talented.
So it's directed by Liesl Tommy, and it's 2 hours and 15 minutes with 1 intermission. So, what'd you think?
I was not ready for that show. I'd heard all about the hype, but I was not ready to go down that deeply. Like, it affected me, like, very much so. I mean, it was so serious and so much drama. They tried to even it out with the joy as well. With
humor.
Pascal. She was hilarious and cracked me up. I know so many people like her. No matter what's happening, they're still concerned with how they look.
Yes.
Very focused on themselves.
Yeah, she had very funny, quirky lines throughout the play. Always brought the humor back into the show. And she reminded me of Taraji P. Henson. You tell me if you feel the same way.
A little, yeah. When you said that, I knew exactly who you were talking about. But I really appreciated the storyline as related to reclaiming your identity, and how when you go through so much, especially in a situation like war, like you kind of lose who you are. But by the end, when we find the women finding themselves and trying to figure out what their next steps are, I thought that was really powerful. And then also the whole sacrifice versus selfishness. Like, how do you weigh that with something as serious as war? I don't know. What did you think?
Well, I hyped it up. And I had, it's just like that anticipation of seeing something you haven't been able to get a coveted ticket for.
Like Hamilton.
Oh, I wish I could tell you I was blown away like it seems you were. I thought it was a really good play, a solid play that I recommend everyone see. I was sitting up in the mezzanine, and the play was first put on a stage at the Public Theater.
In a smaller setting.
Right, in a much smaller setting. I felt the Golden Theater swallowed the play. It felt very like the characters, and I wasn't that far back in the mezzanine, but just the way the set is set up, it's minimalist, and it's kind of in a box.
It's very small. And you know, I thought about that too, and at first I was saying, this set doesn't fit this stage.
Yeah, but it was made for or maybe they could have redone it.
But then I consider it, I don't know if this was intentional, but it made me think about how, you hear about wars in Africa and people don't care, or you don't hear about them at all, and they're small, contained in a box, and we go on about our lives. So, I don't know, that's how I saw it. I'm not sure if that's what they meant.
That's true. There's just like a big open stage in a small box where all of the action pretty much happens. So I thought that was a drawback, and it felt like a void for me in terms of all that unused space. So, the Oscar winner, Miss Thang, Lupita Nyong'o, has a very prominent role in this. I thought she had a wonderful performance, but to me, she wasn't the standout. I really, really liked Pascal, who played Bessie, which is the third wife who's pregnant. I thought she brought wonderful levity to the play, comedy when there needed to be comedy. She's one to look out for. She was my favorite. I wish, I mean, I know it's not a musical, but I really wish that they had written in a song for Saquon, who played Helena, the first wife. Because I've seen her in other musicals,
like Fela,
and she can sing. And they put in a little, or Denai put in a little humming part for her, but I was just like, ooh, I wish she had a song, because that would have just brought so much to the production. But I'm sure she has, believe she has her own CDs and work like that, so we can hear that outside of the play. So yeah, all in all, I give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I definitely want everyone to go see it. It is a wonderful production that is valuable, needed on Broadway.
Agreed.
And yeah, definitely go see it. And also, one other thing I wanted to mention, they have a 10,000 Girls initiative in which they're trying to raise money and funds for underserved girls from 16 to 24 in the tri-state area to come and see Broadway, which of course I'm all about. So if you go to the website, Eclipsed's website, you can contribute to that, and you can also do so in the theater. And it's so important to give opportunities to those who would in other circumstances never have an opportunity to see Broadway, and Blacks on Broadway.
Exactly. So it's very important. So I'm going to give it a 4. Because I enjoyed the performance. I thought overall the cast worked well together. And like even Lupita, I was like, wait, how old is she again? Because I really thought she was a young girl. So I did find her believable. And yeah, I'll give it a 4 overall.
4 out of 5.
The subject matter was really important. And because it affected me so deeply. Like when I walked out of the theater, I was still like I felt like I was ravaged.
Yeah, you told me that, and I was like going in
circumstances.
there thinking something other than what actually happened was going to happen at the end, but it just didn't affect me in the same way. But
I mean, but imagine yourself in a situation. That's what I was doing.
Right.
How would I survive that? All right. So next up, we have Head of Passes by Terrell Alvin McCraney. Genius, MacArthur Genius Award. Who's from Miami, Florida. Liberty City. We're gonna save that for after the video. Yes. Play some of that Trina Trick Daddy music. Not right now.
That's the way we back to the play.
Again, yes, back to the play. So the public is producing a lot of great work.
Public's on fire.
This week, on fire, literally. No, not literally. Let's not do that. Oh, Jesus. Oh, those of you who know me, I went through a little ordeal at my apartment building, but thank God I'm all right.
God is good.
So the public theater, you can go there now and see Head of Passes. It was a co-production with Berkeley Repertory Theater, and this is the New York City premiere. Performances run through April 24th, and member tickets start at $40, general tickets start at $60, and student tickets $25 to $30. General rush tickets, day of show, $20. Student tickets you can get in advance with the student ID. So, not only is the show written by Terrell Alvin McCraney, but Felicia Rashad is also in it.
She sure
so
is.
People are flocking to the theater to see this show for that reason as well. This show it takes place in New Orleans at the mouth of the Mississippi River. And Sheila, that's Felicia Rashad's character, she has her family and friends over. They're going to celebrate her birthday, and she has something important to tell them. But before everything happens, before she can say what she needs to say, things just start to fall apart, literally. There are holes in the roof, and water is falling in. The house is flooding. And before we know it, all of the water comes in. And I thought it was really phenomenal, the set, how they had the hydraulics set up. Like, I didn't expect all of that to happen. I was just,
that was great.
I was like, oh, what's happening in this show? I was listening to the lines. The delivery of the lines, I didn't think was as perfect as I would have liked. I think they could play with it a little bit more. This isn't the first production, so again, they're probably still playing with it, and the public is the place that allows you to do that. Lip scoring for some things were really rushed, and then some things were slow, and so I felt like that could be
improved.
Yeah, just a little bit. The writing, though, I really appreciate it. And the show is overall based on the story of Job. So you watch this character go through so much, and it's kind of between her and God in the end.
Right.
What did you think about it?
Well, this was my second work that I've seen by Terrell, and I saw Choir Boy, wonderful ensemble cast of young black men dealing with homosexuality and youth and angst of young people. So I really enjoyed that play. So going in, I was already positive about this one. I didn't love the script, gotta be honest with you. I thought there was just such a big jarring change between the first act and the second act. But what I did appreciate about the play was that I love when you see really prominent actors and actresses, they've had like staple roles, like Felicia Rashad in The Cosby Show, show up on stage as a totally different person. There was no moment within the play where I thought, look at Claire Huxtable up on stage. She transforms herself. Of course, the true mark of a wonderful artist. So her acting, I definitely appreciate it. I think if it were someone other than her, I probably would have liked it even less.
Yeah.
So she definitely is such a revered actress and carried the play. So, but I think again, still worth seeing, especially Felicia Rashad off Broadway. A good ensemble cast. My favorite was Aubrey, the son of Sheila, played by Francois Baptiste. He was very strong, and I also saw him in Magic Bird on Broadway a couple of years back.
Okay.
So I give it a 3.5 out of 5.
I really liked Spencer. Again, he came in with a very great presence. That's J. Bernard Calloway, one of her sons, who plays a role with one of her sons. And he was comic relief as well. So he picked the momentum of the show up a little bit. So the placement of that was great. And then also Cookie, she was played by Alana Arenas.
She was feeling
her. She was real. I was like, "Oh, honey,
yeah, she was
child."
really.
I was like, "Oh Lord."
She's like the troubled daughter.
But we don't know why. They talk about it in the show. We won't tell you, but she's a troubled
Felicia
daughter.
Rashad's character.
Yeah.
And she's got some depth to her.
Yes,
and some very organic, natural, visceral acting about her. So she's great.
Ooh.
There was a person who played Crier, a young, kind of like nephew-ish, it seems like, of Felicia Rashad's character. Kyle Beltran works in the house. He was also in Choir Boy. Very handsome, but I thought he kind of overplayed the character a little bit, and as he matures as an actor, I bet that we'll see him kind of play it down a little bit for characters. We sat very close, and it was wonderful just
Thanks to Emily.
It was wonderful to be so close to the actors, and really we didn't miss one facial
We saw the sweat on Felicia Rashad.
That's right.
She was doing that monologue. She was into it.
Yeah.
We were feeling it. So I appreciated that. But overall, the real reality of it. And I feel like I like Terrell's other work a little bit more than this production. So I'm going to give it 3.75. I'm not going to give it 3.5, 3.75.
All right.
But, I appreciate his work very much. So that's it for now. We will be back.
See us next time on
Do to see or not to see. Hey. Do to see or not to see. Yeah.